How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing things a little bit different today because over the last couple of days we had our World Championship qualifiers being held in Queensland, which unfortunately I didn't get to go to because I didn't get my invite, but a few friends of the channel did manage to go. We have Jackson, Caleb, Michael, John Lowbridge, Duncan, and the Dubbo boys that managed to go, with Jackson also managing to get to top 64, which is phenomenal. Congratulations, Jackson. Unfortunately, he did get knocked out fairly early on, but that's besides the point. As you guys can see, we already have a graph up here. This is coming from Lampy_Yu-Gi-Oh! That's YGO. I'll be sure to leave his link tree in the description below if you want to follow more deck breakdowns from him. So it comes to no surprise that Rizal is just in abundance here. We've got 36 players on Rizal variants. That's Mitsurugi 18, Mitsurugi Fiendsmith on 8, Heraldic on 6, and Dododo 4. I believe John Lowbridge and Fox Chudley were on the Dododo version. Then we have Malice, 11 players were playing that. 3 White Forest, which White Forest came second, I believe. Then we have 2 Memento, 2 Blue Eyes, 2 Crystron, 2 Mitsurugi Fiendsmith, 1 Pure Mitsurugi, 1 Fire King, Vanquished Soul, which is amazing to see. I am very excited to see the deck profile for that deck. Then we have 1 Unchained, 1 Live Twin Mitsurugi Fiendsmith, and 1 Mermail. There was some decks there that I wasn't expecting to see, like Unchained. That was a little bit of a weird one, as well as Vanquished Soul. Although there are a lot of players now wanting to play Vanquished Soul, especially being so close to Justice Hunters being released. Fire King, would that be expected? It's not bad, but at the same time, no, I don't know. And of course we have that one person that's on Mermail that somehow makes it to the top cut. I say somehow, but the deck is crazy strong still, even after the ban list. I'm not too surprised seeing the Rizal Malice. White Forest has been hit or miss lately, but Memento, Blue Eyes, Crystron, I was expecting to see those. Mitsurugi Fiendsmith has also been gaining a bit of popularity lately. But you know, I thought it was pretty interesting just seeing the sheer variety of some of these decks that were topping Oceans. Next, we will take a look at the pie chart. As you can see, Mitsurugi was just everywhere, followed by Malice and Rizal. We have our winner, Andy Liu, and second place, Dino, who was on White Forest Azamina, which is crazy to see. I did not expect to see that coming second. Another thing that was worth pointing out too was that he was on the Heraldic version, which I didn't think was that good, but apparently it is. I am very interested in seeing the deck profiles for both of these lists. We're still very early on. I'd expect that the deck lists will drop anywhere between maybe later tonight and early tomorrow. But anyway, let's continue. In top 4 we have Ashoka, I think that's how you pronounce it, with Blue Eyes Primite. Again, was expecting to see Blue Eyes. It's very popular. Yeah, there's not really too much to say about it. Corey Brown was on Mitsurugi Rizal, followed by Cynthia Woods, who was also on Mitsurugi Rizal. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Cynthia was on last year's live stream in New Zealand. Can't remember what she was on though. And then after Cynthia, we have Fox Chudley. If anyone remembers last year for Oceans at New Zealand, he came first place. He got his invite to World Championship qualifiers. I can't remember if he was on live stream though. I think he might have been. He was on Rizal Onomat. I was kind of hoping that Fox would take it home just so that he could have that back-to-back Oceans win streak, but still a solid effort coming from him. He took a very interesting deck and took it pretty far to the top, so kudos to you, Fox, if you're watching this. I hope to see you there next year. And then after that, we just start seeing a bunch of Mitsurugi builds / Rizal builds. We've got Mitsurugi Rizal, that's probably beating out a lot of the other decks here. We do have a few others. We've got Heraldic Rizal, Fiendsmith, Mitsurugi Rizal, which is a hell of a combo. That surely has to be a 60 card deck, maybe? I don't know. I haven't been paying too much attention to all these different builds. Clearly, if you're behind kind of thing. And there's really not a lot to be said from here until you get to top 32, where you finally see Malice kind of falling behind a lot. We've got Jack Harris on Malice, then there's Mitsurugi, Rizal, and then just 4 back-to-back Malice players. Also, I think it's important to remember that we don't have Battles of Legend. Is it Monster Mayhem? Whatever the newest Battles of Legend is, we don't have that, so that's why we're not seeing other decks like Orcust Mitsu, or any of the other decks that might be running around for North American World Championship qualifiers. Either way, next up we have Costa Pole on Evil Twin Mitsurugi Fiendsmith. That's interesting. Okay, man, people are just throwing Mitsurugi in anything at this stage, just to get that competitive edge, I guess. And then finally we get to the top 64 area and we see Jackson. Unfortunately, he did get knocked out fairly early on. I'm pretty sure from what he said, his opponent just kind of drew the nuts, so there was no real gameplay there, I'm sure he would say. Following that, we have our Crystron, Unchained, Memento, Vanquish Soul sitting at the bottom here, which is unfortunate to see. I would have loved to see these decks go a little bit higher, more Vanquish Soul and Unchained, because I am a personal fan of both of these options. More so the Ubel build, but still seeing Unchained there is kind of cool. I wonder if that's inspired from the deck list that Caleb did for the channel. And then to round off the top 64, we have Double White Forest, Mermail, Mitsurugi, Rizal, Heraldic, Fire King, Crystron, and Memento. Kind of sucks to see all of these other interesting decks at the bottom, but at the same time, when you're going up against this much Mitsurugi, it does make a lot of sense. Even though it wasn't really Mitsurugi that took it home anyway, it was a Heraldic Rizal build, so that's insane. Before we end things, I just wanted to include a photo of both the first and second place. Congratulations to you both. I think you guys did fantastic, especially White Forest. That's pretty baller considering the amount of Mitsurugi / Rizal builds that were going around. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Can't wait to see these two at World Championship qualifiers and what decks they decide to bring to the event, and hopefully one of them can bring it home. And guys, if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. We are pretty close to 150 subscribers, so that would be phenomenal if we could probably get that within the next week or two. But yeah, that was World Championship qualifiers Queensland 2025. I will see you all in the next one. That's game.